Hey there, good Sunday morning. It's the first weekend of spring. I'm meteorologist Alexis Clemens in our NBC Connecticut Weather Lab. And I figured we would just break down the forecast because it's gloomy out there. Honestly, a perfect day to stay inside and watch some basketball. That is my plan for the afternoon and evening. But we're going to talk about what's going on if you are heading outside today and into tomorrow as well, because a nice cool down. It's a really interesting setup here. So I love that we have our weather lab here. We're going to talk a little bit of meteorology so you can ask questions about what's going on. We're going to break down the forecast and also just kind of a look at this system. We're not seeing as crazy of weather as we could be from this system, and I'll kind of explain why that is. So thanks so much for joining us here. Time is 10:18 on March 22nd. Here's a look at our system here. It's quite a bit of snow actually has been falling for a while in northern New England. I've been kind of watching that over towards like Montreal, Quebec City as well. But you'll notice a nice little boundary setting up. That's providing some rain through the Great Lakes region, even that precipitation stretching as far as South Dakota and Minnesota and Wisconsin there. But a nice rain shower is on the way. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and show you rain starting to move in pretty close, if not into the very northern part of the state. So that would be kind of the Norfolk area into Enfield here in Heartland very soon. So a couple of showers are starting out here in the 10 a.m. hour, and we'll kind of continue to see that on and off through the day. If you do have any plans for today, I'd grab the rain gear. It's a little breezy, so I wouldn't rely on the umbrella. I would just handle a rain jacket, and you should be good to go. It's light rain, so it shouldn't create really any issues for the most part. So that is good news there. Most of the heavy rain holds off until tonight. So let's go ahead and walk you through this forecast. So a couple of showers here and there, but for the most part, your Sunday is pretty dry out there, but we will track some rain slowly pushing southward. It's this boundary that will slowly push to our south. And it's actually going to inhibit us from really warming up today. And there's really quite an interesting temperature divide across a lot of the country here. We've got these showers. They're light through the day, but as we head towards the evening and overnight hours, really after the sun sets, after about 7 p.m., that rain should really be picking up across quite a bit of the region. So light rain through the day, but after the sun sets, it's a heavier rain. And we're just talking about rain through much of tonight here. A couple of showers. But with that heavy rain, would not surprise me if some of us even hear a rumble of thunder or two as we go through the overnight hours, especially the further west that you are near the New York border. They could hear a couple rumbles of thunder. That would just signal some heavier rain. We are not expecting severe weather in our region. In fact, in classic spring fashion, we're going from at least a chance for a couple of thunderstorms to, chance for a little bit of snow and even into some sleet pellets as well. Not expecting accumulations by any means. In our hill towns, it might be a little slushy at times during that Monday morning commute. I would plan some extra time during the Monday morning commute just because roads will be a little wet out there and we'll have these lingering showers, but then we will start to dry out as we go through the day. This specific model is trying to keep a little bit of moisture nearby as we go towards Monday afternoon, but I'll tell you, I think we're mostly dry after Monday morning after about 9 a.m. or so. So that's kind of the gist of what we're seeing, and that's going to drop temperatures a little bit. So rainfall totals for this event for you, going to be between about half an inch to an inch of that rain, which is a nice little soaker for us. We're going to watch river levels as well. This time of year is when we typically see some higher river levels. Connecticut, the Housatonic, doing okay right now, but we'll just kind of monitor that as we go through the week, depending on how much rain that we get. A half an inch to an inch isn't bad, but anything more than that could create a couple more issues. So we'll keep an eye on that. I also wanted to talk about just how interesting this system is. It's a boundary that's actually going to create a chance for severe weather, and that stretches from southern Illinois all the way into New Jersey, the East Coast, Jersey Shore there. That's a slight risk. That's a level 2 risk out of 5 for quite a pretty big majority of the Midwest, the Ohio River Valley, and then through a good majority of Pennsylvania as well. Zooming in on our region here in southern New England, not expecting severe weather, that threat, but just outside of New York City. But like I said, a couple rumbles of thunder definitely not out of the question as we go through tonight. And this is the graphic, I think, that shows the system so well. Look at that temperature divide. I mean, from here in Hartford, 54 degrees to Washington, D.C. in the 80s. I mean, I'm also looking at St. Louis versus Chicago. I grew up in that area. St. Louis and Chicago are like 250 miles apart, and that's a 45-degree difference there between Chicago at 42 today and St. Louis at 87. So just an interesting system. I mean, over towards like Cleveland versus Cincinnati. I mean, that's over a 40-degree divide across the state today as well. So it's where that boundary sets up. It's just really interesting. I'm going to make sure that I'm not missing any comments from anybody. If you have any questions or anything, I'm more than happy to answer them for you. Just making sure that I'm not missing anything. It doesn't look like I am. So that is good news there. But just a really interesting system. But basically what's happening is this system is pushing to the south. So everybody is going to be cooling down into Monday. So Washington, D.C., for example, in the 80s today and in the 50s tomorrow. So quite the roller coaster for them. Not as much of a drastic change for us, but still quite a change across the region. So that's kind of what we're watching here for this system. So I'll even show you your high temperature forecast for us here in Connecticut. We're in the 50s today. That's actually a little above average. So, hey, we'll take it. When we talk about spring, I'm always ready for the 60s and 70s. Not quite the case for today, obviously, but the 50s, we can't complain about that. It is going to feel much cooler tomorrow. Some of us only topping out in the 30s for Monday. We're back in the 50s, though, by Thursday, and then we're going to track some more rain chances. It looks like by the end of the week. And I always think it's fun when our high temperatures correlate, each of the temperature drops correlate to, that's not what I wanted to show you, correlate to some precipitation chances there. So as temperatures warm back up Wednesday and Thursday, rain chances will bring it back down again into next weekend. But kind of this temperature roller coaster continues, but between the 40s and 50s, that's not terrible. Somebody says, I want a sunny day. Me and you both. And I think we're going to get it on Tuesday. It's not going to be like it was 2 weeks ago when it was sunny and like 70. Oh, that was gorgeous. But sunny with highs in the 40s. That's what we're that's what Mother Nature is giving us for Tuesday. There's a look at your 10-day forecast there as we, again, monitor a couple of snowflakes sleet pellets, rain droplets to begin your Monday. Shouldn't create any issues, but the sun does return by Tuesday, back in the 40s there. The 50s should return by Wednesday. Unfortunately, though, by then, cloud cover returns as well. So kind of the 50s are back then. And then we cool back down into next weekend. That 10-day forecast, though, takes you through the month of March, and it looks like we're going to end on a seasonal note. High temperatures in the 40s and 50s. All in all, I think we're right now a little above average for the month with temperatures. So should be ending on a warmer note after both January and February ended on a cooler than average note. This is kind of one of the first times in a while. I'll have to look at the data, but this is one of the first times in quite a while that we're starting the year with below average temperatures instead of above average temperatures. So it's been a cold winter for sure. Very snowier than what we have seen in winters past. But actually, I think once all is said and done, this will go in the record books as a pretty seasonal winter, because now we're in spring. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. It does look like we warm up a little bit. So next Tuesday is the last day of March, the 31st there. So just beyond the 10-day is April. I'm thinking we warm up a little bit by then. Maybe the 60s we might be talking about, which is good news for the yard goats. They come back next Thursday, not this Thursday, but next Thursday. I'm thinking the 60s might be possible by then. This week is the MLB opening day. Mets are home, I believe, on Thursday. We might be dodging a couple of showers, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. Somebody says, I want my dogs to go out and play without coming in with muddy paws. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough out there. That snow's melted, but we're still seeing some rain chances. Ground hasn't really had a chance to dry up. So yeah, I know. My family has a dog, and I don't know about you, but she hates getting her paws washed with a passion. She loves to roll around in the mud, but doesn't like being cleaned up afterwards. Somebody said, yeah, there is a little chance for a little bit of snow tomorrow morning. It's not going to accumulate. In fact, most of us will not see it. Just putting that out there. If you do see a couple of snowflakes, I think honestly it's the sleet pellets that might be a little bit more of a factor tomorrow morning. And by a factor, I mean just something that you'll hear, because it'll be a little bit louder as it hits your windshields, hits your windows. But because the ground will be warm, temperatures will be warm. It's been raining, right? I'm not expecting issues there. But again, just showing, I think this just shows how crazy spring is. What's the saying? March is in like a lion, out like a lamb. I'm waiting for the lamb. That saying is because, the in like a lion, right? That's crazy. It's crazy start to March, because our winter and spring air masses are fighting each other right now. Spring will win out. It's not successful. Not just yet. So that's what they talk about with in like a lion, out like a lamb. The goal is that by the end of March, we're in that spring air mass. We might be close. We'll have to keep an eye on what happens in the next by next week. But things are starting to warm up. So maybe by the end of March, we'll be out like a lamb for sure. Somebody said, so no ice that we need to worry about for tomorrow morning. No, not expecting that this to be impactful here. If you're heading up towards Massachusetts for work, like if you work in Springfield, Boston, anywhere up in Massachusetts, might be a little bit more of a factor, a small one, but on the interstates, I wouldn't expect issues there. So nothing really to worry about with this system. I think just putting it on there to show how much cooler it's going to be. But the sun does come back on Tuesday, so that is good news there. Once the nice weather comes in, we will really appreciate it. I agree, because of how crazy this winter has been. And like I said, I think this winter is going down as pretty seasonal in terms of temperatures. No, it has been cooler than average. As for snowfall, right around average for us, actually. It just feels like a lot, but because we haven't seen a lot of snow in the last few years. Somebody said, I work for the Yard Goats, and hopefully April 2nd is good. I hope so, too. We have a lot of really fun things planned for the Yard Goats here at NBC Connecticut next week, so we're hoping for good stuff as well. Hopefully, if things are panning out the way they look to, we might be talking about the 60s by then, which would be fantastic. Perfect baseball weather. I love baseball. It's my favorite sport, I think. It's very nostalgic for me. So I love the weather. I love the weather that comes with it, and hopefully Mother Nature will agree. So that's kind of the hope there. Am I coming to opening day? I believe I might. I know a lot of us will be there. Haven't gotten our plan yet for that. So hopefully we can show out. I think we're doing at least a couple things with the Yard Goats for sure. So that'll be a lot of fun for next week. Can't wait for that. That'll be awesome. Great questions. Yeah, that's kind of the latest on what we are tracking with this system. Again, a cool down with these rain chances through tonight. I'm going to see if there's anything else that I missed that I wanted to talk about. I think that was about it. A very interesting setup for sure. Just be prepared for a couple of little rain showers today, a little breezy as well. And then we'll see cooler conditions, a couple snowflakes, sleet pellets to start Monday. But that's about it. So we're gearing up for our Yard Goats opening day special. And it's 10 years, I believe, at Duncan Park this year. So that is really exciting for the Yard Goats. So awesome. That'll be great. So I think that's about all I have. If there are no other questions, I hope you have a great Sunday. It's a great day to stay inside and watch basketball. That's what I will be doing for sure. If you have to be out, like I said, a rain jacket should be just fine. And like I said, that steadier, heavier rain kind of develops tonight and into early tomorrow morning. How are the reservoirs doing? From what I understand, nothing's been jumping out to me. We're talking about like river levels and stuff like that. Things are actually in pretty good shape, which is great for this time of year, because typically Typically, we see some issues in the spring, in March and April. Right now, things are going okay. We'll watch the Connecticut, the Housatonic there, the Yantic as we go through this week. Rain chances or rain that we've got going on today and tomorrow adds up to about a half an inch to an inch, which shouldn't cause many problems. If it was a little bit higher of a total, that could create a few more issues. But right now, they're doing okay. So that's a great question. This is a great question. As the weather gets nice, I know people want to get out on the water. Can you remind people of the frigid water temperatures? Absolutely. Long Island Sound, I believe, is still dealing with temperatures in the low 40s. That is very chilly. That creates cooler conditions on the shoreline, and I think that's what really does it. So great point there. I want to get to the beach and on the water as much as the next person. I want it to be spring and summer, but we all know got to wait a little bit longer until the waters warm up. Long Island Sound, very, very cold right now, still in the low 40s. So just be mindful of that as well. Somebody said we're watching basketball and NASCAR today. Good stuff. Basketball, I'm looking forward to it. This is exciting. I can tell you all. I'm going to the UConn game tomorrow, women's, the women versus Syracuse. So I'm really excited about that. It'll be my first game, my first UConn game. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm looking forward to it, hoping they do well. UConn women are going to be dominant. That's just who they are. The men, they have a good shot today. I think they're playing UCLA. So that'll be a good game tonight. I'm looking forward to that and everything that March Madness has to offer. So thank you all again for joining us here. Again, we're now officially in spring, so we'll continue to watch. Like I said, this time of year, it's the winter and spring air masses that are fighting each other. That's what creates, all of the weather, the rain, and all of that stuff that we deal with this time of year. Spring will eventually win out, but it's taking its time. It's winter's still holding on just a little bit. But hopefully by the end of the month and into April, we'll start to really warm up and kind of stay there. Somebody said, enjoy the UConn game. Thank you. I'm really excited. I've been to stores once for a story. I have not been to Gamble, so I'm excited for that. And I'm such a big fan of the women's team. I loved Paige last year, AZ, KK. It'll be really great. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've definitely fallen in love with the basketball community here. I grew up in an area where March Madness was not guaranteed at all. I went to Mizzou. And I was excited when they made the tournament this year and then got out in the first round. So that's what happened. So I love that UConn. It's somebody has told me before that UConn making March Madness is just a guarantee. It has to happen, right? And that's obviously, they're dominant. They're dominant this time of year. So I'm looking forward to that. So again, thank you all so much for joining us here on this Sunday morning. Remember, we'll track those rain chances. Light rain showers today, better rain chance tonight, a couple of snowflakes, ice pellets tomorrow morning. Shouldn't create issues though, but it will cool things down. Highs in the 30s and 40s tomorrow. We are back in the 50s with some sunshine by the middle of the week. Oh my goodness, this is another great. Wait, I gotta talk about this comment too. When is the first game for your Cardinals? I love the MLB opening day. That is this week. The Mets are playing the Cardinals at Citi Field. I just looked this up with my roommate in early June, and we're already thinking about going to that game. I think it's like June 9th or something. And we just talked about how there's a new ferry going from Stanford to Citi Field. I really want to try that out. So yes, I'm already looking forward to a game at Citi Field. I went to Fenway last year for the Cardinals versus the Red Sox. Red Sox blew them out of the water. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to a Mets Cardinals game. I think the Cardinals are coming in to play the Yankees as well. So I think the Red Sox go to them this year. So big fan of them for sure. I love sports, love weather, love talking about it. And MLB opening day is this Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to try that ferry. You're a big Mets fan. Fantastic. I love it. Yeah, Mets are home Thursday. We'll watch a couple of rain showers then. So timing can still change. Latest model runs are starting to push rain back a little bit more into like Friday. Again, that can change. So hopefully we can dodge some rain chances for the Mets game on Thursday. I'm just excited to be talking about baseball again. I love football season. I just think it's so fun, but baseball, man, yeah, it's just great. It doesn't get better than that. All right. I think I'm losing words because I am tired. I've been awake for a long time today, but thank you all again. I love the community here. I love getting to see it all and to forecast for you all. Thank you all for letting me get to do that for you. And thanks for the conversation. And I hope you have a great Sunday. I hope the vibe is more sunny than what is outside, because I don't expect sunshine today with a couple of rain showers. Better rain chance tonight. Sun comes back Tuesday though. So again, thank you all so much. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. Go Huskies. And we'll talk to you all a little bit later. Bye.